It gives me immense pleasure to be in a conversation today with one of the finest film critics of the country. She's a film journalist, television presenter, and a book author. And Anupama Chopra is here with me today to share a bit about her life and her love for movies. Hi, Anu.
Hi.
So, okay, tell me first, how does it feel to be on the other side of the table?
You're strange.
You're the one normally interviewing people, and now you're being interviewed. How does that
Yeah,
feel?
no, that's strange. Though I am sort of getting used to it, but it's always weird. You know, I almost want to say, how do you do what you do? It's just a natural instinct for me, and I'm very curious about everybody. So,
Do you love conversations, like
Yeah.
generally? Are you a chatty person?
I think it's chattiness depending on subject. So with movies, I'm extremely engaged. If you talked about home decor, maybe not.
Was film journalism always a well-planned career choice?
No, not at all. It was not well planned at all. It was in fact nowhere on the radar. It was completely random because I graduated. I'm an English Lit major, so I graduated from St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. And I had done English, and at that time, you either became a teacher or you went into advertising. Those were pretty much the two avenues open to English lit majors, and I didn't want to do either. And one of my professors at St. Xavier said, well, there's a movie magazine called Movie, and why don't you just, check it out. It wasn't supposed to be anything long term. It was supposed to be a stopgap arrangement until I figured out what I actually wanted to do. And I wasn't even a big film buff. It's not like I grew up devouring cinema or anything. But I went to work for Movie magazine, and I was instantly seduced by the Hindi film industry. And so it's weird, but my journey actually started with Hindi, the business, the industry, and then went into the movie. So I worked there for about, 8 to 10 months. And I knew that was what I wanted to do, but I also knew I wanted to do it differently. So then I went to Northwestern University and I got a master's in journalism, and then I worked in New York, and then I came back always. And at that time, nobody ever came back. So people were like, "What? You've come back to write about Bollywood?" And so that's all I want to do is write about Bollywood. So that's how it began, but it was completely random.
Right. And just out of curiosity, how many films do you see in a week?
Well, this has been a particularly crazy week. This week I've done 4 reviews, plus I write something called the Film Fix for Hindustan Times, which is like a DVD recommendation or just a film recommendation. So it's at least 4 or 5 a week, which is not ideal. I would prefer 1 a day, but I'm not making it. It's not happening.
You've been in the industry for approximately 22 years. Has the media industry changed for the better, or according to you, how has it evolved?
Well, I can only speak about film journalism because that's all I've ever done. I've literally never written anything else. The film journalism has changed drastically. I mean, when I started with Movie magazine, there were literally like 4 maybe film magazines, and mainstream journalism didn't cover cinema at all. Barely, they would have a review or but no profiles, no trend stories, which seems today completely unimaginable given that every newspaper now has an entire supplement just devoted to film. So there wasn't, films did not have cultural legitimacy. Bollywood, not films, but just Bollywood. Hollywood was always, looked up at and all of those things. But Bollywood was considered fairly infra-dig, especially by people like us, the English-speaking, educated, urban elite. And mainstream media did not really cover Hindi films. And, so it's a complete sea change to today, where, even a travel magazine or even a Architecture Digest is sold with Deepika Padukone on the cover. Like, it seems like we can't do anything without movie stars.
Absolutely. Your husband is one of the finest filmmakers in the country, and you are one of the top film critics. Do opposites really attract?
I suppose in this case, yeah, because Vinod is older and his references and his sort of favorite films and his favorite directors are all very different from the kind of movies that I'm doing. He went to school at the Film and Television Institute in Pune. His whole education has been in the European art house cinema. My whole education has been Hindi cinema post Sholay. So sometimes he looks at me like, what are you thinking? How can you even enjoy this stuff? And I love it, I love it. So yes, opposites do attract, but we try not to see too many movies together.
When I was doing a bit of research on this interview, I actually found out that you do not review his films. You do not.
No, you can't. But that's what I talk about, integrity. I mean, that's an obvious conflict of interest. No matter what I say, it's just fundamentally wrong, and therefore never. And it's not just what he directs, but what he produces, anything that he's involved in.
And what about your children? Are they movie buffs as well?
My daughter is, she's 13 and she loves movies, but she's not a big Bollywood buff. Neither one of them is really, my son loves Bollywood music, but he is, he's into cricket and he has no time to watch any movies. So it's interesting, but they both enjoy movies. I just don't think they have enough time.
All right. But Anupama, you yourself play so many roles in your life. You are a wife, you are a mother, you are a journalist, you are a TV presenter, book author. How do you manage and juggle so many roles? How do you remain focused?
Honestly, I have a lot of help. I have such a vast support system that, if I complained about the difficulty of balance, I think it would be whining and it would be just bad form. Is it easy? No, but nothing is easy, and I love it, I enjoy it. I always tell my kids that if I did work, I would really be a neurotic mom. So choose between that and a working mother.
That's wonderful, actually. Anupama, your first book, surely The Making of a Classic, that won the 2001 National Film Award for the Best Book on Cinema. Then you had Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, that was published by the British Film Institute as part of their Modern Classic series. Then King of Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, was featured on the annual editors list for the New York Times Book Review. How much does recognition, awards, and appreciation, how much do they mean to you? What do they mean to you, actually?
It's not something I crave at all. I actually never even think about it. I don't. None of us get into this because we think we're going to be famous. I mean, you do it because you love movies. And I'm purely driven by that. And if recognition comes, or if an award, that New York Times citation for my Shah Rukh book meant the world to me. The New York Times is the New York Times. I would be happy to sweep the floor there. It's never in my head at any point of time. I have never. There's no vanity in this. I really don't have an ego. For me, it's the work drives me. I'm really happy to love something and to have the financial freedom to do what I love. I don't think that many people get that lucky. So everything else that comes is just the icing.
As a film critic, whose movie reviews do you follow?
Many inspirations. I try and read on a weekly basis the great film critics. I try and learn as much as I can. Roger Ebert, of course, for film critics across the world was a great inspiration. And I watched a documentary on him, Life Itself, and it's stunning and staggering what he continued to do and how he nurtured his voice even when he had no literal voice left. So for me, he continues to be a great source of inspiration, and I met him in Cannes. In fact, there's a picture of me and him. Him, A.O. Scott, Manohla Dargis at the New York Times, Peter Bradshaw at the Guardian, one of my favorites. My absolute favorite, Anthony Lane at the New Yorker. He's a writer who, you don't think you would read a film review and start laughing. But I have laughed out loud when I've read Anthony Lane because he writes with he has such a great wit and flair that it's amazing. So these are all people I really look up to, and I read Rajiv Masand, I read Raja Sen, Nandini Ramnath, so as much, because I think you learn from everyone.
What do you look for in films when you actually go to watch one, or when you actually just watch it as an audience, not as a critique? What do you look for in films?
But there's not much difference. The only difference when I'm reviewing a film is I'm taking notes because I don't want to get stuff wrong. I don't want to make factual errors. But otherwise, it's the same human being that goes to a movie, and I don't feel like some great sense of burden when I'm reviewing. I'm there excited. I want to like I'm going with full enthusiasm. But what I look for is engagement. Fundamentally, I think you need to engage me at whatever level, so you can make me laugh, you can make me cry, you can make me, you can scare me, but evoke some reaction. For me, the worst crime is boring. I'm like, listen, I've given you 3 hours of my life, don't do this. So even with so sometimes some films are so bad that they become good, because at least they're so bad that they evoke a reaction, and then you start laughing, and it's unintentionally funny, which is fun. But it's those middle of the road bad ones that are just murderous, because you're not laughing. They're not so bad that they're good. They're just like nothing. And I can never leave, because that would be unethical. So I see every film down to the last credits. So what are you gonna do? You just stop.
What is, or rather, who is your inspiration?
Well, I would say Vinod, because he's been my best friend for so long. I don't even know how long he's been. So I think him, definitely, definitely. And we're wired extremely differently, because I'm very driven and extremely motivated to work, and he's extremely calm and very zen-like in his approach to life and work. So I think he, as my children say, he completes you.
Oh, that's really sweet. So coming to the last question, if you had to describe your life at this stage in just one word, what would that be and why?
Happy.
Yeah.
It would be because it is. I love what I do, and I think that is such a big blessing.
I had a lovely time chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for being with us.
Thank you.